first?
Okay. So, welcome everyone. This is our first podcast as the Process Play. We've gone through a few ideas over the years, and it's taken us only 3.5 years to finally do this. So, introducing the Playback. This is probably going to be very messy in terms of a first podcast. Just bear with us. We're also going to be doing amateur editing off the back of this as well. So, we're gonna play around with the format. This week we're going to talk about knowledge. It's obviously the big thing recently. So yeah, in the future we're going to look to try and have like a standard format, but we're going to give this a go, see what we come up with. And today I'm joined by Luke. Give a quick intro, Luke.
Thank you all, and the massive round of applause. But yeah, Luke Meyer. Luke Meyer, head up sales here for the Process Play.
And we have Sergio.
I'm Sergio, I'm the CTO at the Process Play, and I am in charge of the sounds. So
Next time, a suggestion: can we put Sergio in the other seat, please?
in the other what?
In this seat, you're not allowed.
I can reach over.
And I suppose I didn't introduce myself. So I'm Alex. I co-founded the Process Play 3.5 years ago, and I'm the Chief Customer Officer. We all have very different roles and responsibilities. But yeah, I unfortunately didn't get to go to Knowledge. So today I'm going to be talking to Luke and Sergio about some of the interesting stuff that they covered when they were over there. Trying to keep it a little bit light as well, so try and understand what is going on over there. There's lots of people who've never been to Knowledge. It's almost like a bit of a mystery. Everyone it's on their bucket list as a ServiceNow nerd. So we'll talk about some of the fun stuff as well. So yeah, Knowledge was 2 weeks ago. You've just about recovered from jet lag, Sergio.
Yeah, Thursday was the last day that I stopped feeling like I wasn't human. So yeah.
But Luke's the Duracell bunny in the group, so you were back on Monday?
Monday, yeah. I'll tell you what, melatonin does wonders, though, on the plane. Just knocks you right out. So, yeah, back in the game.
Nice. So, just in terms of a quick intro, just going to do the same question for both of you. What was your "this is the future" moment at Knowledge? Sergio, do you want to go first?
I mean, the future is always going to be AI. It's been AI for 2-3 years at least now. I think perhaps this was the first year where I felt like AI was actually a little bit more kind of stabilized and kind of not necessarily something too new. People are accepting it. People just know that it's a part of the platform, and with Auto coming out and kind of being a part of all of the newer kind of SKUs and newer products as well, just makes it that much more normalized. Whereas before, it always felt like, oh, cool, we're talking about AI and AI this and AI that, but it was always an add-on. So there were a lot of customers that always felt like they would have been left out. And we'll talk about whether it's the right thing and when is the right time to implement AI. But finally, I feel like AI in ServiceNow is actually the future.
Okay. And you mentioned Otto, just because, well, I mean, I wasn't there. I imagine there's a lot of people who have probably missed this. What is Otto?
Yeah, so ServiceNow Auto, OTTO. I assume it's a play on automation and like funny way of saying it, but I probably should have researched to see. It actually came out with an explanation of what the name was. It's so ServiceNow acquired MoveWorks a while ago. MoveWorks works basically as a kind of an in-between AI agent for integrating multiple platforms. So obviously ServiceNow being one of them, and then integrating into your HR platforms, into your ERPs, into Teams, whatever it might be, and kind of bringing all of those tools together under one conversational AI agent. So it kind of brings ServiceNow out of having kind of virtual agent and Now Assist kind of separated, brings MoveWorks into the conversation, which they've kind of renamed Employee Works, but Employee Works is also kind of an HR thing on top, which kind of is the portal as well. So a little bit
really easy to follow.
Always really easy to follow. But Auto is basically a more conversational approach. So the same way that you go into ChatGPT and say, give me this, or ask a question, or whatever it might be, and it prompts you, and it suggests things, and it's that more GPT-like approach to ServiceNow, while integrating through MoveWorks with other platforms. So if you say that you need in the source to pay space, for example, you say you need to order a bunch of pens, and that's a part of your process, and it's defined and all of that stuff. It'll suggest, hey, this is the process that you need to follow. How many do you want? This is the quote that we've got. This is the supplier we've got. Do you want to potentially start a new like RFX with a different supplier, things like that? So it works with what you have already in the system, but it's basically a smarter way of doing it.
Okay. So in terms of next question, and I think I probably know the answer to this, and you've spoken about it for 5 minutes. What buzzword did you hear, Luke, so many times that you never want to hear it again?
Is AI too obvious? Buzzword. Agentic was obviously huge there, right? And it's really funny because I reckon 6-8 months ago that word was never said by anyone until maybe Knowledge, maybe 12 months ago. But for sure, I think agentic would be definite buzzword of this year's Knowledge. But I think on the positive, if we look for anyone that was anyone that has, say, AI fatigue following Knowledge, I think if you look forward to 2028, I think that AI, as a hot take, I don't think AI will be said at all at Knowledge, because it's just going to become expected. And not just within ServiceNow, right? But I think it's just, I mean, look at how far we've gone in the last 2 years with AI as a whole. That'd be my kind of take. So if you're sick of AI now, then don't worry too much, because I don't think it's going to be said.
No, I think I suppose it's a massive shift. I've not been the last 2 years, but I know when we were there 3 years ago, and it was, we were sick of AI then.
Yeah.
So if there's that shift now to agentic, maybe it's because of what you were saying before, the platform's now shifting, it's now stabilizing, and rather than it just being quite basic generative AI use cases, it's actually starting to move towards using it within a workflow. People are actually realizing the value of that work and that effort after all of this time. I mean, obviously it's another sales play, but at the same time, I think you are starting to see that people are realizing, actually, let's get our heads around this and how we actually going to use this product to deliver value.
Definitely, and I think the shift from conversation I had at Knowledge was, people aren't asking what can AI do anymore. It's more of a case of, should I use AI for this? I think that's the big shift nowadays. It's less asking permission from ServiceNow, or can we do this at all? But it's almost, should we? And I guess a big point, and probably separate discussion, is if should is yes, then who should take ownership of this as well, right?
Yeah.
And the governance piece. Actually, I think one of the good things I definitely saw from Knowledge, Sergio, hopefully you agree with this, is actually the maturity that ServiceNow is showing in terms of that governance piece. That was a big piece, especially with AICT, kind of the advancements there as well.
Yeah, I think I think the maturity is a big part of it, but it's also companies perhaps not trying to force it as much. Again, playing what we were saying earlier, you went from you kind of had a peak of like AI fatigue, where AI was everything, and you had to force it into everything you could, whether it was coming from C-suite or techies or whatever it might be. To whereas now, I feel like you actually have real life use cases where it worked, where it didn't work, and talking to when we went 3 years ago, it was, I think, the start of kind of where that peak was just hitting, maybe just before. I think maybe 2 years ago was probably the actual peak. But we went and we had our booth, and one of the things that we noticed was, like, our booth didn't have any AI mentions on it, and every other company had AI this to AI that, and that's still pretty prevalent there. But funnily enough, I think we almost had it the wrong way around in that year, where now our messaging of making sure that the processes are correct, that the whatever it is that are the foundations for AI need to be there, and those are the real success stories, are the ones where the data was correct, the processes were correct. So companies aren't just forcing AI. Then I think AI Control Tower, I think the governance part of it, the success stories all played a part in a lot of companies going, whoa, hang on, maybe we're not as ready for AI as we thought we were. Let's first focus on restructuring our data, restructuring our stories, restructuring our processes, so that when we do implement AI, it's not going to cost us millions. It's going to cost us a few thousand, 100,000, whatever it might be, because we did the foundations much better. Yeah, I think that's where the big difference
I suppose
is.
it's realism over kind of the excitement that we've had over the last 2 or 3 years, and then actually people tried to do it and they've realised we've been trying to do automation for a long time, and we've had the same problems, and you having to sort out as you said, the foundations to actually progress with using AI. So one thing, just moving on from kind of this AI piece, outside of AI, anything that's caught your eye? I'll come to you, Luke. Were there any kind of sessions or other kind of weird little niche areas of the platform that you saw?
You're testing me now, because if I look back, everything was underpinned from AI, right? That we had there, and I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Yeah.
I think now I'm trying to it's almost differentiating the content with actually anything pre and post AI, right? So, as an example, Sergio, myself, and Kyle, we went over to see kind of where the advancements are going to be within CBS and specifically within source to pay. And immediately, all they showed us was, this is Otto. How Otto's going to, how Otto's going to handle this. And actually, when you look at kind of the headline products that they had coming out, it was all AI focused, right? So we've talked about Otto, we've talked about CT, Action Fabric as well. Everything is AI related, and actually, I think the underlying tone might be more important, or underlying messages might be more important than actually the headline figures themselves, in the sense that ServiceNow is maturing its governance piece, and actually it lends quite well again to Sergio's point about how we go to market, right? In the sense that you need to go process first, you need to have your data correct. But to answer the question, Alex, like,
it's just AI.
Everything is just AI, right? And it no, it really was. And I mean, my main takeaway from the entire thing is that, look, AI absolutely can accelerate your business, but it can just as easily expose an operational dependency. And I think that was kind of my takeaway. But yeah, to answer your question fully, it was just AI.
just AI.
Yeah.
And I mean, it feeds in with the messaging. ServiceNow is the AI platform for enterprises, so it's obviously what people are going to cover. I suppose still in that space, would you add anything? Was there anything? I know you're the CMA overlord in the company, and yeah, was there anything kind of a bit nerdy that you saw that you thought was quite cool in that space?
Nerdy, not so much. It's for me, my each visit to Knowledge has been different. My first time was in 2019, and I remember that time was get to as many sessions as possible, try and learn as much as possible. Mm-hmm. I was exhausted at the end of the day from the meetings, not from meetings, but from attending sessions and all that stuff. Then 3 years ago, obviously, we had the booth, so that was kind of the primary focus. And then ever since, my focus has been different. So obviously, like, I went around the expo maybe 5 times throughout the 3 days. So I didn't. My focus wasn't try and talk to as many people, but try to talk to the right people, to the right platforms that are within kind of our our area of focus, which is source to pay, CDS. So in contrast, like back then, I maybe would have geeked out about everything and tried and go to all the booths and all that, whereas I was a lot more kind of laser focused on a couple of companies that I spoke to and trying to understand when we went to the booth, hopefully trying to get a little bit more information about the source to pay side of things.
Okay.
So maybe not. I will say there one problem still remains, and that is that especially around the ServiceNow booths, you don't actually it's almost like you're there to see a demo. You're not there to ask and answer questions, or someone answer questions for you, and that's what's a little bit frustrating. It's frustrating for us as a partner. I can imagine it might be even more frustrating for customers who are going to Knowledge, hopefully try and get again more product exposure and stuff like that.
So that's an improver that you'd like to see.
I know it's almost like an anti-cool thing. It's like almost and that hasn't really changed. It's not necessarily new, but I would like to be able to go to the booth about a specific product or about a specific vertical or whatever it might be, and speak to people who get it right and are actually able to answer not all of my questions, but at least be able to, okay, I'll take it away, or I'll try and find someone who actually does it. And it just feels like it's all, as Luke said, it's just, you go there and they show you a demo of Auto, and it's a click through demo. It's not a live demo.
I suppose that's always been our challenge at some of these events, where you want to go. We live and breathe this on a day-to-day basis, so we want to go deeper on some of the conversations and go into some of the sessions. We're hoping for a little bit more. That's not necessarily criticism, because obviously these are intended for customers to give them inspiration, to give them some vision of what they could do. But I think that's probably quite an interesting one. I mean, even for us, whether we take this away as in the partner and ServiceNow ecosystem, is there something separate? I know there's the partner, they run a partner day the day before the main conference now, but is there something that's even deeper than that? I know Jace runs Knowledge as a kind of a separate breakaway knowledge event, and which is going deeper into some of those concepts. So yeah, maybe that's something I don't think the ServiceNow masters will be listening into this and taking our inspiration, but
no. And look, right, I mean, I understand why the canned demo's there, because it looks great. Like, and if you are C-level, C-1 from a customer or prospective customer, and you go there, and you know, largely canned demos, but we do know from previous experience that actually when you put this into customers' environments, it will largely look the same, providing you've got the guardrails there that we've talked about already, right? I think it's just more terrifying for the platform owners that are sat at home and the product owners that are sat at home, and the bosses come back after Knowledge and go, right, we need this, and they've just put in problem management and they're going, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. And I suppose that's it'd be interesting to kind of hear feedback about that from customers on those product owners. You see this really shiny demo that it takes 3 minutes, you go through end to end, but that's kind of weeks and weeks, if not months of work. And then as the things that you've both described, your data's crap, your process, you don't really know how you want it to look. You're trying to integrate into other systems, for example. So it makes it look purposefully really easy and really like seamless, but what is actually the truth behind it to actually get to that point? So I suppose that's really cool to hear people's feedback on that. I suppose one thing that you touched on was going to go meeting companies. Maybe a bit of a odd question to ask on our podcast, but the big thing for me for Knowledge and why I've been gutted not to go the last 2 years is that it's for me, it's not about going to the sessions. It's not about the learning as a partner anyway, because we're living and breathing this every single day. It's a community event. You get to see people that you've not seen for ages. The World Forums are amazing for that, because obviously it's localized, and then you get some really cool like pinch me moments when you're out in the States and you're bumping into people that you've not seen. So Sergio, from your side, whether it's a company that was interesting you spoke to, previous connections, any people that you'd give a shout out to that was a really enjoyable conversation or just nice to bump into someone.
Putting me on the spot. I'm terrible with names, so
tag on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we can tag them later. Yeah, again, I was looking for very specific things, either kind of ERP focused stuff in general, or companies working with ERPs in some way, shape, or form, or within kind of supply chain, source to pay kind of procurement, whatever it might be. There were a couple of companies that we spoke to that are doing some pretty cool work in that space. One of them especially seems like a really great avenue of integrating ERPs a little bit better, because again, one of the biggest problems I think we've encountered so far when it comes to source to pay projects is the integration side of things with ERPs. ERPs are tools that have existed for most of them for 20, 30 years, and they've just kind of iterated on top of it. And if we talk, for example, Dynamics, very typical kind of Microsoft way, you build something, then you just build on top of it without actually fixing the bugs. So in the same way that we didn't have Windows 9, I feel like you look at Microsoft Dynamics, for example, I'm pretty sure there's stuff there that just cannot remove this tiny little bit of code because it's going to break the entire thing. So it becomes really difficult to integrate with the platforms at times. This company, again, I'm terrible with names, so I don't remember exactly, but they basically, again, built kind of an AI layer on top of it with their own portal as well that integrates into the ERP to actually go through and not only show the data, but also submit things like purchase requisition, etc., which does seem like a really great avenue to integrate with ServiceNow as well, to again try and minimize that barrier, and hopefully make projects go a little bit faster, a little bit easier, and it's AI as well. So
cool. Amazing. Luke, you were seeing everyone from. I was getting the WhatsApps as the team travel agent
Social
in the
butterfly,
UK.
apparently.
Yeah, you were seeing everyone. So who's on your side?
Well, same answer as Sergio to start off with. I could say exactly that.
Okay.
But no, I think my main purpose of going to these events is, number one, educating myself and kind of listening to what the market's direct feedback from customers from what they're seeing. But look, my main purpose is, well, twofold. Number one was, as you know, I'm 5 weeks, 6 weeks into the process play. A big part of my role here now is connecting with the wider ecosystem, the vendor themselves, and kind of bringing my connections, if you will, and just trying to give us a fair amount of exposure. So a big part of my role was buzzing around and speaking to everyone, and I guess educating them on actually who we are in the ecosystem, because quite frankly, a lot of the time ServiceNow don't know just because of our approach.
Yep.
Second part of this was catching up with ex colleagues, understanding what they're seeing in the ecosystem, what's changing, and then also previous customers, current, future, prospective customers.
Okay.
So a lot of buzzing around, I think you called it.
Okay. Yeah. So no specific shout outs. So as I said, it's one of the biggest things that I'm disappointed that I've not been the last couple of years, because this is the biggest thing for us. I know, like, you managed to sneak into a party one night with one of our biggest customers.
Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that.
And so I suppose on the just as a slight offshoot question at the moment, I don't think you went too crazy at any point, but any cool things you did outside the event in Vegas, any cool parties, or are you just both really boring now and in bed by 10 o'clock with a nice hot chocolate?
If you want to, I mean, we did see a couple of cool things. Sergio and I saw an Arctic Monkeys cover band.
Not in Vegas.
Oh, that was in LA.
I think the our main thing with Vegas was like get into Vegas as late as we can and get out as soon as we could as well. Even though we were so sad to miss out on the Backstreet Boys. So sad.
You didn't see
We
them?
missed the Backstreet Boys and Idris Elba DJ.
Oh, no. But he was surely he would have done a keynote about agentic AI.
I saw Idris do his keynote. Yeah, he was really, really good. I thought he was better than the first time I saw him just speak about ServiceNow was when he was on one of the ServiceNow live shows and then got Bill's name wrong, which was which is brilliant. But no, he was
What was the name?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, he went with Bob instead.
Bob McDermott doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
No, it's his brother. No, in terms, do you know what? You said being boring, right? And I do so many of these events in Vegas nowadays, and knowledge compared. No, but compared to, say, for example, ServiceNow Sales Kickoff, knowledge. I am doing. I mean, I looked at my step counter. I was doing 20,000 easily a day on average, including the 2 travel days that we did here. And I did them, typical me, fashion over function in some very uncomfortable loafers as well. So I am shattered by the end of the day. Look, we did enjoy quite a few shandies out with customers. One particular customer went up to Fremont, for example, which is always
cool.
always good crack up at Fremont. It just gets you away from the strip, which, if you know Vegas, you kind of want to be away from the strip once you've just had enough of it. And yeah, the aforementioned. Can we mention the party we broke into by accident?
I don't know. I mean,
what's going to happen?
So we broke into the party where we were definitely supposed to be in.
Well, our badges are going to be marked for next year now. You said it was very lax security.
Well, we had a colourful lanyard, and then they were like, "Ah, you got a lanyard? In you come." I tried that at home, and it just doesn't work as much.
Where are you trying to get into a home that you weren't allowed to get in?
It's my colourful lanyard. Yeah.
No, actually,
PT again.
The party was the EMEA North party.
It's the the party.
But no, it worked out in our favour, to be honest. We already, we know one of our customers was in there. We kind of followed them up and just assumed we could get in. And it turns out that I do know kind of VP of in North anyway, and it was all fine, all good, and ended up having some good chats with. It's
like we're sponsored by them. It was at Brewdog as well, wasn't it? So it's a good.
Oh yeah.
You can see in the background. So shout out. I mean.
Not sponsored in any way.
No, not sponsored.
We are not sponsored. We are paying for this. Brewdog, if you want to sponsor us, though. I mean,
Well, maybe we'll park discussions about Brewdog right now until a future podcast when things may be better. So but it's cool. It's a cool bar, isn't it? In Vegas, was it on the rooftop? I'm guessing.
Well, that was the whole point, right? We were sat downstairs having our food, and we said, "Oh, we're just going to go up to the top private party." So I kind of want to go to the top though, because it's a cool thing, and we just ended up just walking up, and that was when we accidentally broke into a party. If that was the worst thing we did in Vegas, we've definitely got boring.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's the equivalent of having like a high-vis jacket and a ladder. You know that thing where if you have a high-vis jacket and a ladder, you're allowed anywhere. No one asks you questions. It's basically the equivalent, but with a colourful lanyard instead.
I'm thinking of next year. Taking this as a feature for YouTube and seeing what we can get into, seeing if we go and have a cup of tea with Bob McDermott.
I wanted to go see. I wanted to go up to XS, but no one would come with me.
Oh,
I had bunt on.
You say words that I've got no idea.
Basically.
Music. Just times like double the speed.
Okay, I don't know how to 2 times the speed. I just know how to
press buttons. Okay. Stop playing. So in terms of one of the things that we like to do as part of it, I know we've done it. It wasn't last year; it was the year before. Feels like a long time ago. We're always flying out to the States and trying to do like fit in some little cool trips. This year it was you two. You did a top and tail road trip, didn't you, from LA? It's becoming like a little bit of a ritual for you. Every knowledge. So yeah, what did you get up to? What were the cool things you did this time?
Yeah, so we landed on Thursday, I think.
It all rolled into one long day.
Friday?
I think
it was a Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. Around 1 p.m. Which is a great time to land because you still have kind of the entire afternoon to do whatever you want. So we landed in LA. got to the hotel, just freshened up, and then we went out for margaritas and some tacos, and yeah, Mexican food in general, which in LA is just amazing.
I think we both still dream of the tacos we had
Yeah.
in central LA. I think he probably banged on about them for when
Every
you were
day.
there.
Every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just the
Yeah.
best.
I mean, basically, we were looking for Mexican food all the time. We didn't have Mexican food all the time, but we were looking for Mexican food all the time.
You're always looking for Mexican food.
Yeah.
And then you on the back end. So after a very very busy knowledge, you kept it really really calm and easy on the return leg when you
Yeah.
went back into LA, didn't you?
Back into LA. I know. I'm looking at your face, and you're looking at me with a smile, but I can see resentment. Yeah, ended up on Hermosa for a few days. We ended up having a nice bike ride, which was
Oh.
it was all good after drinking way too much one evening. And yeah, end up.
I think we managed to somehow not crash,
just
stumble.
just party crashes at this point.
We stumbled into two different cover bands. So the first one was before we went to Vegas. So
Yeah.
the first night we were pretty chill. We just went to Venice Beach and then up to Muscle Beach.
Were you
We
curling some iron?
No, it was closed already. I didn't want to embarrass them as well. So. There was there's a very iconic skate park there. We just stayed there for like 20 minutes, sun going down. Really good skateboarders as well. So it was really fun. We just had a few drinks. The NBA game was on. The Lakers was on, so a lot of obviously locals were watching it. But we had a pretty quiet night that night. Then the next day we went and saw Hollywood Walk of Fame. We stumbled into the biggest Arsenal supporters club in
we did, didn't we?
in LA.
That was weird.
Shout out
It
to
was
the
jarring.
West Side Gooners, which
I mean, that doesn't sound good. The West Side Gooners.
West Side Gooners in LA.
Oh dear.
This is what I have to do.
I'm professional, don't you? Oh god.
Yeah. So
what was you stumbled into a gig?
Yeah, at night we just went to a random. We were looking for kind of like more dive bar type of thing.
Love a dive bar.
Yeah, and we just found it on Google Maps, and so we just went. Suddenly there's a line. We find ourselves in the line, and we just asked the person in front of us, like, "Why is there a line?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, there's an Arctic Monkeys and the Strokes cover band playing tonight." Okay, cool. Yeah, why not? It's kind of our stuff, anyways. We get in. There's like a little back area it's like smokers and stuff. So we're just there. Start talking to a bunch of people, or people start talking to us. And at some point, we find ourselves talking to a guy who's. Everyone's really friendly in LA. First of all, like, I don't know if we just got lucky, but generally, just it helps probably that Luke, first of all, has obviously the English accent, and then I have some sort of weird accent as well. So, but like everyone's really friendly, asking like, "How did you find this place? Like, this is."
The general question was, why are you here?
Yeah.
Like, you're in a dive bar. There's loads of stuff for you tourists, but why are you here? And we're like, we heard the Arctic Monkeys were on. We want to see your best Alex Turner.
Yeah, and then one of the guys that we start talking to, we're talking to him at this point for like 5 minutes of asking where we're from and all that stuff. And we ask him like, "Oh, how about you? What are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm the lead singer for the band that's playing later today." So yeah, we just spent the next hour talking to the vocalist, super chill guy, great guy. Talking to him as his wife/girlfriend.
You've just jobbed him in.
There's a story. There's a story behind that.
Yeah, that's for the After Dark version.
That's for the Patreon version.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. The band was great. We had a few more drinks and stuff. And then on the way back, once again, we just had we had dinner / whatever. And then we were literally just like walking back, and there was a live band on. We just came in. and it was like a cover band just playing a bunch of like millennial song, which is right up your alley. So
Just making me feel as jealous as possible here.
yeah, just a lot of Paramore.
It was the weirdest band, and it was the weirdest bar in the world, though. It was like, on Monsters Inc., where you go into the scare floor and they all just come out. That was the people that were in that bar.
Yeah, a lot of typical LA older. I don't know if that's gonna make it, but like older LA women.
Sergio cancelled on the Playback Podcast.
I'm not saying anything bad. No, just very stereotypical LA place.
I know we stumbled. We were knackered by that point. I think the last time that we went, it was the bar that we walked past and ignored because we were too broken and tired after a week of knowledge. So that's awesome. I mean, as I said, for me the content of these conferences is usually very low down on the list, which probably is a slightly controversial opinion. Yeah, it's more about the connections, and then from our side, like we get away, we have a bit of fun, explore. Obviously, I sound, I don't know, I don't get emotional, but I think this kind of stuff that gives us, just feel very lucky to have some of these opportunities as part of it, and that's
Sure.
you just got to make the most of it. So no, really really cool. So I suppose wrapping up on you had an awesome week. It's all about AI. I've tried to eke out like what else was there that wasn't AI.
No, it was just AI. Yeah.
It wasn't.
No, but do you know what, Alex? Like I feel like I've been cynical, but it is if you haven't been to Knowledge as a customer, as a partner, it is absolutely worth going to. You don't, other than World Forum, which again, absolutely worth going to, but as a potential customer or a customer, it's kind of unmissable, really. If you are, as to coin your words of service now, nerd, everyone, you need to get yourself there.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I know I said before I'm a big fan of Knowledge. You mentioned SCO before. I'm not a salesperson, so SCO is a sales kickoff. We're using our acronyms already. Is a much different vibe. I think we could say. So yeah, it's the connections you get there are amazing. We've built up a lot of connections. There's a whole UK WhatsApp group that spawned from the very first kind of UK meetup. 3 years ago. All thanks to Dean Mortimer. He set that up and took the initiative to go set that up 3 years ago. But that's kind of grown arms and legs, and we kind of interact with a lot of those people now. And then it is great. I think we lose sight sometimes that because we talk about a million different things related to ServiceNow every day. Me and Sergio, we're still in the weeds doing kind of projects and advising customers, and we're far too in the detail that I think it's hard for us to detach ourselves when it comes to actually some of these sessions, and it gives people some inspiration, some ideas, and they think they've never even considered they could do half of the things within the system. So I completely agree. Like if you're in ServiceNow, and you've not had that opportunity, you'd absolutely like snap it up, because it's not just a learning experience. It's like an amazing life experience. Like you add all of the different features in Vegas. Most people who have never been to Vegas. Vegas is, like you said, you wanted to get in and out as soon as possible. But that's because you guys have been multiple times. It's just a balmy place, isn't it? Like there's nowhere quite like it. And yeah, in terms of like just again the people that you meet, the energy, it's kind of unrivaled. And when you stand back and go, I'm doing this for my job, it's very very strange. But yeah, definitely like just an absolute like experience that everyone should try and do.
I think the word that you use there, an energy, it's a massive cliche. And I said to myself, I'm not going to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There was definitely an energy about the place. 25,000 people there. It felt like double. It felt. When you've been previously, did they have the ServiceNow playground?
So it's now Playground.
Yeah, it's not with slides and swings or anything like that at all. But I accidentally found myself in there. I didn't break into this one, but I was queuing up for a coffee one morning, what I thought was a coffee, and I queued all the way up. And next thing I know, I've been given a badge and asking whether I want to go and code.
Okay.
And this is me, and I said, no, thank you. I'm not going to go and code because I'm going to go and embarrass myself. But I saw there's a lot more of the technical people. What they were competing for were certain prizes by doing this whole bit of the expo, which was kind of live dev, creator, etc. It's pretty cool if you're into that kind of thing. I didn't want to embarrass anyone else, so I didn't do it myself. But yeah, that was really good.
I did it in 2019.
Yeah.
And I won, actually.
Oh,
So-
there we go. What sound thing have we got for that? Was it
No, yeah, it was at the time it was pretty cool and very fitting that we were actually in Brewdog once again, because it was like a brewery type of thing where you had a different I don't remember what they called it, but like the different taps, that everything was like a CI, and you had to build a bunch of stories
Cool.
to connect them. And yeah, it was in groups of 3, and yeah, signed up at the time and ended up winning a pair of AirPods at the time. So
amazing.
Mhm.
So, kind of wrapping this all up. It's 2026. Every year blurs into one now. So, Knowledge 2026 is done. The big theme is AI, or we're shifting onto agentic. Next, projecting out to 2027. Hopefully, we're all there in 2027. What would you forecast? Yeah, what would you forecast would be the message? Or I suppose actually, let's not. We could probably, this will probably get us back in the cynical chair again.
Yeah.
And we'll be agentic AI Mark II. What would you, from what you've learned, what would you hope the kind of the message and where customers have got to in by 2027?
I think at the moment. Sorry, I'll answer this first, Sergio, if that's all right. I think at the moment the technology is moving faster than what customers are in terms of kind of their in terms of how they operate, and I think that ServiceNow will double down on the governance piece. I think that's so important. I think AI. There's almost a FOMO, right, with AI, with organizations, but it's here to stay, and I think actually, from a legislative point of view, I think it's kind of, we all know it's kind of growing out of control. So actually, ServiceNow doubling down on that governance piece is going to be super important to align with an operating model the organization has. And I think that's really, I think next year we'll still see absolute AI before it kind of trails off and just become
just some more, so more controlled AI.
More controlled, yeah.
I think it'll be interesting for, I don't know if next year necessarily will be that year, because again, tying it together with the newer SKUs and the fact that AI is not included with everything. If you consider that you still need to implement and you still need to go live and you need to be live with it, I don't know if there will be many customers, that many. Obviously, there will be quite a few, but I don't know if it's going to be a huge portion of customers that are now forced into having AI and implementing AI in a way by next year's knowledge. But I think that will be. I think it's going to be a good year to understand whether AI is actually good or not, and how much of a difference it's actually making for those customers, whether they were able to, right from the get-go, right from a fresh instance or a fresh SKU or something like that, for example, Greenfield, implement AI fast enough to where, in a year they were able to be at the next knowledge and actually be a success story, or and just as important, talk about what were the pitfalls, where did we fail, because you go into it and you only hear the success stories, and you go into the different sessions and it's always success stories, but we know that there's a lot of pain involved in it, and I think it's just as important to hear that pain and talk about that pain so that you can learn from it and other companies can learn from it, so that you can be faster, more efficient with it. So I'm looking forward to actually hearing what that first year of mandatory AI for those companies was like.
And I think there's a couple of those things coming out. I know I know Booking.com have done a world tour. Osgun seems to be being rolled out at every single ServiceNow event talking about AI. So I know a lot of their presentations have been about the truth and the nitty gritty and the pain of going through that. So yeah, I think I was probably thinking something similar around seeing more customer success stories, more stories, but not just the shiny output at the end of it, like some actual real tangible. This is what you need to do to get from A to B. And I suppose with the changes recently of the licenses, you'd hope with AI being provided as part of every single product moving forward, whether it's as part of renewal or completely brand new ServiceNow customers, there's more of an incentive and less of a barrier to try things and try those AI use cases. So you'd hope that whether it's next year, whether it's the year after, that you're getting more of those stories and those examples and really starting to see the power of it. And obviously the product's developing as well at the same time. So yeah, I think that could be really cool. So yeah, we've waffled on for a good chunk of time now. This is our first attempts at this. We're going to look to make this into more of a regular recurring thing. We've got some ideas of kind of a structure and to try and keep Luke on track. He keeps telling us he's run many podcasts in the future and it's all just based on chaos. So we've got some ideas on how to structure that. Luke,
it's organised chaos. So it's organised chaos. That's my life.
Yeah. So yeah, we're playing around with a couple of ideas. So as part of this, it would be really good to understand from anyone who's listening what you'd like to hear. I know there's been some really good podcasts in the past. The Service Ducks, for example, Russ and James doing. They did some really cool stuff over the past few years, and it was a little bit more conversational. It wasn't kind of just delving into the weeds and really boring. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to hear what people would like to hear on something like this. Something that's a little bit more dynamic. Yeah, in terms of regularity, we're very busy people, but we want to try a commitment to try and do something like this on a rolling basis. So yeah, take a look at what we've done. Keep an eye out for stuff coming in the future. And yeah, even if you want to come on as well, like I'm sure we'd really like to hear some of those customer stories. And as I hope you can tell, it's not going to be just the
yeah. I was going to say, at the risk of sounding like three white guys with a podcast, it's not meant to be just another podcast.
The now sphere.
Yeah, it's not. First of all, it's not just meant to be just about like the company, and it's about the people, and outside of the company as well, right? If the community, and as you were saying, if other people want to have some interesting stories, even whether it's knowledge, for example, while it's still relevant for the first month afterwards, I guess. Although I should say probably the first week after, but we're probably late to the train at this point.
Maybe release it 2027 and it'll be exactly the same.
AI.
Yeah, that should be our actual soundbite. Just the presence, just say AI. Yeah, have other people. It's definitely part of the plan. Should we plug ourselves?
Should we plug ourselves?
Our company.
Okay, West Side Gooners. You got that.
Come on, guys. Keep it professional.
So, Sergio,
plug our company and what we do. Stop it. Come on, man. Yeah, kind of what, because we never really said what we do. Like people might be watching and just actually, we are these guys, just three random guys from the
just a load of party crashes. Yeah, so just to round it off, I suppose we're the Process Play. As the name kind of gives it away, we don't focus on the tech first. We focus on the process and people change of digital transformation before looking at the tech. We're exclusively a ServiceNow partner, so we like to pride ourselves on kind of understanding what it is that that organisations are looking to achieve as part of their digital transformation. 95% of the time in their conversations, it'll be ServiceNow is the right fit for you guys. We've got a product to do that. We can potentially build a custom application to fill those needs. But I think we pride ourselves on not saying that ServiceNow can do everything. It absolutely shouldn't. And trying to provide an honest opinion as part of those conversations. Luke is staring at me across the desk saying, "Stop, please. I need to sell." I said that absolutely not joking on that one. But yeah, we like to kind of bring a very real, honest opinion to the room, and advise where we can, whether that's licensing, whether that's solutions. And there will be times where we say ServiceNow is not the right fit. Go and look at another technology. So yeah, we come in and try and bring that consultancy, that advice, and just become a trusted partner. And we've been doing that for 3 years now, and all around the world, Europe, US, a couple of random little visits out to the Middle East. So yeah, we travel to wherever is needed. A little bit of an old school, I suppose, consultancy model, because as you can hopefully tell from this, we're very kind of personal, relationship led, and we know that's a huge thing towards transformation. So
you were going to say that you were personable, and just like a humble brag.
I'm just kind of a nice guy. So yeah, thank you for listening today. So yeah, I've been Alex,
Sergio,
and Luke.
Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching The Process Play.